You won't believe what Vice President Harris said to a Christian in one of her recent rallies. For decades, presidential candidates have had to pander to Christian voters because evangelical Christians in America make up a huge voting demographic.
It would be a welcome reminder to every American family. We can pray a good deal more at home. We can attend our churches with a good deal more fidelity.
And without God, democracy will not and cannot long endure.
Precepts of Jesus Christ spoke to me in terms of the kind of life that I would want to lead.
This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents, yes, the Constitution.
But as the culture begins to have more disdain for Christians, this could be shifting. What would it look like if Christianity not only became an unpopular worldview to have, but actually blatantly rejected, mocked, and looked down upon? Well, at Kamala Harris's recent rally, some have been speculating that we may be much closer to that than we would typically think. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan. This channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God. Oftentimes, that involves looking at current events, examining the signs of the times, so that we could know how to better honor God with our time, talent, and treasure. Now, I don't talk about politics a whole lot on this channel, and honestly, this video is not a political video. This is a video about how Christians are seemingly being treated when they are engaged in the political realm. So if you're new here, if you're not new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, as a huge percentage of the people that watch this channel, unfortunately, are not subscribed. Interestingly enough, there was a similar moment at a J.D. Vance rally that went a totally different way. But before we get into that, let's first check out this clip from one of Kamala Harris's recent rallies. Check this out. Okay, so this is from a recent rally where she was speaking, and I wasn't sure at first because I couldn't initially hear what was being said and what she was responding this way to. But in a minute, we'll actually look at a different angle that clearly articulates what was being said, and it was fairly heard by the audience. So check this first part out. This is the main shot.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Okay, so important to note, she's talking about the context of Roe v. Wade, which is like pretty high priority for every single Christian. Even though Trump has said that he's not going to have a full-on ban, he does seem to take the more conservative position, I guess, on this, more of the pro-life position, but not all the way. Like even my friend Lila Rose, who runs Live Action, has some issues with them regarding his position on the unborn and how it's evolved. Here, that's what she's talking about, and she's way further end of the spectrum with regarding the unborn. In the middle of that, someone allegedly yells out, Jesus is king, or Christ is king, something like that. And so she says, you're at the wrong rally, okay? And then listen to the vitriol of this audience. She thinks she nailed it too. She's so happy. She's like, got him.
No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Now, comparing rally sizes is such a Trump thing to do. She like keeps she keeps borrowing things from his own playbook. I don't think this is like, you're not gonna win people over by like having this competition. It's fun when he does it because he's kind of funny when he does it. When you do it, it's kind of you know.
You're only saying that because she's a woman.
What? She feels so accomplished.
Yeah, she's like, I cooked.
The one time I wasn't reading a teleprompter and I nailed it, guys. Okay, well, of course, the internet blew up with that clip and everybody was saying the same thing. Now, again, I withheld judgment. So I was like, I don't know. I couldn't hear what this dude was saying. Well, sure enough, another angle came out. And apparently this was, I believe, 2 lacrosse players that were at this rally. And this is what they said and were immediately ushered out. So that's a clear Christ is King, Jesus is Lord. In the background, you see a new way forward for lacrosse. Clearly what was said, and it's, you know, to be bragging about rally sizes, doesn't seem like that big of a rally.
I don't know if it's a lacrosse player or this is like in a place called Lacrosse, like a city named Lacrosse.
Oh. I think he's a lacrosse player.
I think this is a new way forward for lacrosse. I don't think she's campaigning for a sport right now. I should double check.
We'll double check that. Okay, so we fact checked that. It was happening in La Crosse, Wisconsin. But how cool would it be if he was a lacrosse player in Wisconsin? Okay, never mind. Let's get back to the video. Okay. So if you're hearing here, he says that, Christ King, and then clearly the very next statement is from the other clip where she says, you're at the wrong rally. Go ahead and play that real quick. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. So that's, the context is she's talking about the unborn. He goes, hey, you know, Christ is king, Jesus is Lord. Her immediate response is, oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. Not a good look. If you want any inkling of winning over people who are followers of Jesus, Christians, religious, care about the unborn, even if she has some sort of profundity and some sort of sophistication of our policies is actually going to reduce the number of, like, because that's kind of like Obama's thing, right? When he would talk about this topic, he'd be like, oh, our policies are actually going to reduce the number of babies deleted. She's just flippant with it. And I don't think this is a good look for her. Ultimately, this definitely draws the distinction that, like, this is not the party for Christians. This is not where you belong. And in that case, that's probably one of the few areas I would agree with Kamala Harris. Yeah, this doesn't seem like the party for Christians. It hasn't been for a very long time. Now, to juxtapose that, J.D. Vance, who's Trump's vice president, had a similar situation happen, and his reaction is in complete contrast to hers.
Anti-Christian rhetoric and anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that we've, that's right, Jesus is king, and I don't think that we've seen... I don't think that we've seen anything like this in modern American politics.
I mean, he kind of nails it. I don't know when we've seen people be so flippant towards people of faith. Like, even if you are, you know, dug in on this position that, you know, women's reproductive right, like, even if that's your position, you probably shouldn't be talking to a really big voting bloc this way. You're at the wrong rally. And listen, I'm not like the biggest Trumpster J.D. Vance guy. Anyone that's been following me for a while knows that this last primary, I was more of a Ron DeSantis guy. I even like Vivek. But I came from the era, this might shock you, when both candidates sat down with a pastor, specifically Pastor Rick Warren, at Saddleback Church here in Southern California, Barack Obama and John McCain, and had the conversation of faith in front of the whole world. And Rick Warren, the pastor, was the one facilitating these sorts of conversations. So I remember these conversations happening in church. And both candidates were in church trying to win over the Christian voting bloc. So I find it very interesting that this is now the tone of the top level DNC people. Like, they're just, in my opinion, showing their hand that we're not really on all that faith stuff, all that Jesus stuff. Our God is reproductive rights. Our God is the liberty to do whatever you want with your body. Our God is to take stuff from certain people to give it to other people in the name of the government doing good, which, by the way, biblically speaking, there's no mandate for the government to take people's stuff from one side and give it to another side to reappropriate resources, right? The government is here ultimately to suppress evil. And so I don't like talking about these topics, but the reason why this is near and dear to my heart is because I believe ultimately Christians should be the solution to all this lunacy, not in the sense of always diving deep into the culture war issues and trying to go tit for tat with the world and the pagans that are spiritually dead anyway, but in the sense that I believe we should be the community that's known for building better culture, living a better story, being the hands and feet of Jesus on this side of eternity, so that when people think of us, they may disagree with our view on the unborn, but they look at our lives and they go, their lives different. They love their neighbors. They lay down their lives for people. They lead their homes well. They go out and they're charitable and they're generous. And that's the whole vision of why we're doing the very first ever Bless God Summit, to be the solution to the culture war, to live a better story so that through our daily lives, we could win over outsiders. We could win over those that disagree with us. Bless God Summit happening March 27th, 28th, 29th here in Southern California with some of my favorite speakers, the Beat's very own Alan Parr and Jen Parr, my guy John McCrae from the What Do You Meme YouTube channel, Preston Perry, Dr. Sean McDowell, Live Actions, Lila Rose, Trizzle Fitness, my pastor Jeff and his wife Erin Moores, as well as live performances from America's Got Talent winner Dustin Savella, Ryan Horton leading worship, Dirt Poor Robbins, and a special concert from John Keith and Miles Minnick. And listen, the goal of this conference is so that we can be the solution to all this craziness as we're coming out of a very tumultuous 2024. I don't know who's going to win this election, but I know there's going to be a lot of upset people come 2025, regardless on how all this stuff goes down. And I'm excited to announce that we really want to get as many of you there as we can. So we developed a couple of things. One, we now have a full scholarship opportunity. For those of you guys that are like, Ruslan, I want to be there, man, but the way my bank account is set up right now, I just can't cut it, bro. Okay, great. We have a scholarship available where you can fill out a scholarship, and we have opportunities for those of y'all that got it and got the funds and you want to sponsor someone. We have opportunities to sponsor someone, and right inside of the ticket sales section, and an opportunity to buy a pay it forward ticket, as well as group discounts if you want to bring a bunch of your friends, or if you're a pastor and you want to bring your whole staff, those are available as well. And there's now even payment plans. So you could put a little bit down now, and I think you'll take it out every month or so. But there is some bad news. If you're watching this right now, that means you already missed the very first price jump. The prices were super cheap, and when we initially launched this, now they went up. They're going to go up again in a few weeks. So go to blessgodsummit.com now to get your tickets, to apply for a scholarship, to sponsor someone going that needs to be there. And I can't wait to see you guys, hang out with you guys in person, March 27th, 28th, 29th, here in beautiful North County, San Diego, Carlsbad, California. So click the link in the pinned comment or in the description below. Or if you want to see another video that YouTube recommends for you, click this over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.